What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. Today we're going to take a look at the GRS Tron arcade fight stick. Let's get it started. Thunderstick Studio, and there it is. I guess it should be this way. So we can see that the cabling is specifically for the version 1.1, which is what I have. That's the AtGames Legends Ultimate. So I'd imagine the rest of it is all probably the same, except you need this for the 1.1. I know the instruction set has a few restrictor gates. I don't know if it has one already in there. Oh yeah, well here's one here. I don't know if that's 8-way by default, but you have a couple other options. I'll imagine this is 8-way. That's probably 4-way. This is probably 8-way as well, but we shall find out. And so this one's different. I hadn't seen the videos of many of the other ones, but I had heard through a few of the shows that I've been on with Glenn that some of the challenges that people had with putting this on is there's times when you don't want to have that on here, so you have the ability to swap out this guy and put this in. So that's pretty cool. So it looks like we have some mounting screws, some more cables, and the stick itself. And so it looks like there's a screw and a bolt there. I'll imagine that's where you would take that off and be able to insert this guy into that shaft there. And what is this? Ooh, a Tron. That's a nice weight to it. That'll go there. Pretty cool. So I have no idea what to do. I don't even know where to be. Hey, remember that you put these screws in this box. What else am I missing? I think these pinball buttons need to come off this way. There you go. Alright. Pinball button. This is graphic bolt. Somehow restrict that, or is there another screw under here that's hidden by this graphic? Put that in there as well. Yes. So we have to undo our graphic here. Alright, that's that. One more part. One more plastic screw. Go away. What? And repeat on the screw. too heavy. Well, that was very tight. Alright, that screw is out. Use screwdriver there. Now this lifts out. And now we just need to remove power, USB, not much. I don't want to break a nail or something. There we go. Yeah, I guess it is a little pinch on the bottom. So now with this newer version, the 1.1, or the new Tron stick, if you take off this restrictor gate, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you just put it on, snap it on. To take it off, you just sort of move these things to the to the edge, and that's how you take it off. So real simple to do. To take this off, the first one was a little easier. It was a little looser. This one's a little more restricted. I'm just going to use these needle nose and just catch this wherever I can. And just come on. Got my camera going all over the place. Just need to cut this. Pinch and twist. That's all you got to do. It's not as hard as I made it look. On the 1.1, these screws are too small. They just slide into that existing hole with no resistance. So that is not going to work. So I have to see about getting the original screws to work instead. So make sure we have our alignment back the way it should be. This way. And I don't think these are going to be long enough. This is considerably thicker, but it looks like it. It looks like it will. We identified that this is the back where it plugs in, so we know this is player 2. It's not labeled any other kind of way, other than we can see our volume control and things like that on that side. So this is player 2. We're going to put the joystick on player 2 so that the player 1 is always intact. So if we just look at player 2 is a little more congested over here, so that may be an issue. I don't know. I may have to go with making it joystick 1, and since it's swapped out, you can swap out the joystick. It may not be that big of an issue for me to put it on the player 1, but you can see here it indicates that this is version 1.1. Just zoom in. So you see there, it shows that it's version 1.1 on those 3 components. That's the trackball you're looking at there. So I have to make a decision. Do I go with replacing this player 1 or that one, player 2? You see, player 2 has more things around it that's close to it. All right, so I'm going to use this flathead screwdriver. See if I can hold that in place and screw this. A little bit easier before I took this off. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. So I'm just holding that screwdriver in place, spinning ball top, and voila. So we can remove these components, and we're probably gonna need this cover, these dust covers to be available when using the regular joystick. All right, so now they gave us this 1.1 thing here, so I'm gonna have to assume that I need it. Why and what for, I do not know just yet. So this is connected, so these are separate. Oh, I'm losing thing. Quite a few parts here. Oh, I don't like that, seeing that. What do I have to do with all that? No idea why these are necessary. So I'm assuming it's for power, maybe? So let's just look at what we have. I would think that this would just plug in there. And we'd be done. But that's 5 pieces. That's 5 pieces. So one would think that would just go in there and you screw these things down. I gotta cut these things off. So why would I need all of those components? That is what I have to figure out. So now with this newer version, the 1.1 or the new Tron stick, if you take off this restrictor gate, you don't have that rotating issue that you had on the previous model, where if you didn't rotate this, the stick would be in the wrong position. But this just pops on and pop off. And again, if you wanted to replace it with one of the 2 that came in the box, it's real simple. You have these 4 posts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you just put it on, snap it on. To take it off, you just sort of move these things to the floor, to the edge. And that's how you take it off. So real simple to do if you want to replace those. And so those can be replaced, but obviously you'd have to unscrew these 8 screws again to get in here. So you kind of want to know which way you want it. And again, we want to just have this pointed away from or in the same orientation that it was when we took the stock OEM joystick base off. To take this off, the first one was a little easier. It was a little looser. This one's a little more restricted. I'm just going to use these needle nose and just catch this wherever I can. And just give it a little pinch and twist. That should be all I need to do. If I can get under it, that'd be better. Come on. Got the camera going all over the place. Just need to cut this. Pinch and twist, that's all you gotta do. It's not as hard as I made it look. So we're gonna use these screws instead of the screws that we took out. Oh, I don't know. I think, oh, because it's wider. That was a little wider to keep these, because these holes are a little bigger. You have the stock screw, it would be just barely. Oh, it must be longer. It doesn't seem to be too long. But either way, we're not using these. So, make sure our edge is pointing that way. Line these holes up. Get our 4 screws. And let's go to work. Try this one here closest to me first. Oh, I gotta have a delivery maybe? Let me go check on that. All right, so all these guys. So the original screws work with the 1.1. The optional screws are not an option. All right, so that's in there secure. All right, so we got that plugged in. And so the Tron stick has some power options. And so that is where this kit is going to come in some kind of way. There's a whole lot of wires. And so let's make some sense of what's here. Okay, so now we have this thing on the box, so those joysticks aren't getting messed with. And so, according to our instructions, we need to disconnect the stock connector. So that's this guy here. And we just need to pull that out. Get a little thumb action, some nail action without breaking the nail. Come on. There we go. All right, disconnect that from, that's called A. And we need to connect it to A2. A2 is this guy. So connect that to A2. Uh-oh, don't break nothing now. Go straight in. No wiggle. All right, plug that to A2. Then it says connect the A1 to the A. So we're just putting this middle guy in there. He's a jumper. So we're gonna just plug that guy right where we took the other one out. All right, so that should just go straight in. All right, so pretty clear. We unplug this cable from there and put this guy in between. All right, and now we have this loosey-goosey guy. All right, let's see what's next. Now it says connect the A3, which is this cable. Connect this cable, A3, to the 2-pin connector, or the red and black, from the joystick. So that's this guy here. So we're just going to plug that in. That's locked in. Locked in. There you go. All right. So that's that. That leaves us this. Now we got to hook up the Tron trigger to button B. All right, so we're going to disconnect the connector from B. And again, according to our diagram, this is B. If it's faced that way, where are we at? We just use A, now we're going to use B. So we're going to unplug B. It's this big guy, this big beefy guy. And come on this side. So we're going to use our nails a little bit to wiggle this out. Alright, so that guy's disconnected. See there? Real clear. B. And we took B out. We're going to connect the B2. So that's this guy here. B2 is the side that don't have the wire, so that's this side here. So you see there? This is B2, that's B1. All right, so B2 is gonna go in this way, straight down and lock. Okay, pretty simple. And connect to B2. All right, yeah, so we just did that. Now we need to connect B1 to the ALU interface. So that's gonna go in here where that one came out of. And this is gonna be a little tight because they have this thing screwed down. So we're gonna have to do some little acrobats. Let's just get this cable on this side of it because that's going to plug into the other cable. All right, so we just plug that in there. No problem. There. And now the B3 connects to the Tron 2 or the purple and black cable. B3 right here. Are you in the picture? No, you are not. So we have this connector on the Tron joystick and this on that B3 cable. Just lock those in, and that is that. Hook up the Tron joysticks. Okay, and now they're saying we just need to put the 5-pin right here back in. So that's the standard one. So that's for the joystick to work. Now he's locked in. That was that last step there. And I believe we are done. Oh, no, we got some additional wiring harness. These additional wire harnesses are provided for mod purposes. Okay, so we don't need that for this project. So we'll... Ooh, what is this cable for? Oh, this is the joystick cable. Okay. Had me worried there for a second. All right. So now we just have to make sure none of these wires are getting pinched or messed with. Probably should get a little braid tie or something just to make sure all these are not being hindered in any kind of way. So I'll get something for that. Wire management. So these two books appear to be identical, but they have the same model number. But this one says Tron Arcade Flight Stick, and this one says GRS Tron Arcade Flight Stick. And this version has the 1.1 only instructions. So we're at step 1. We're inserting the joystick in, and then it says push in part A, which is this little black piece here, and rotate 90 degrees to make sure the shaft is locked into the groove. All right, so the joystick itself has these grooves on it here, which is going to come out the bottom of that joystick, and you're going to rotate that black piece to lock in on these pieces here. So, slow down, Ming Joe. All right. So we're going to insert the wires in, because they got to get through the hole first. The joystick the trigger will be pointed that way. We know this is the control panel back there, the back of the control panel by that little piece there. So we're going to feed in these wires, if we can do so. Not much difficulty. I am getting quite a bit of difficulty. Okay, I got one, we got two. All right. So we're going to put these in. So you're going to have to turn it a certain way to get past the groove. All right. So this piece, let's move this out the way. This piece pushes down. You see that? You can push that. So you have to push that and rotate that actual piece. It says rotate 90 degrees. Doesn't say which direction, but because without doing that, this thing will move. See that? In and out, in and out. So there we go. I'm rotating it to the right, and I lock that in. So now this thing will not come out. Just give you a close up to that. See there? So we rotated this piece here because it started off over on this side, and so you can push that down. So you got these two pieces of plastic, which are part of the joystick, to lock into this piece there. Okay, so we have all these wires. So I'm assuming, and I'm just figuring this out, that this is fine to be plugged in here, but we'll get to that, to allow the the four-way movement, or, the direction. But then this Tron joystick has a fire button, and so one of these have to go wherever that fire button is. And this thing has a light in it, so one of these things have to get power. So we need power to light that up, and we have to plug in that button so that when you press that button on the Tron stick, it's going to do one of the functions of one of these buttons here. So let's figure that out. So the box is explaining what this ALU interface board is, and that's down here, this board here. And based on their drawing, it should be sitting this way, the way I have mine set. And they're saying that this piece here is A. Okay. So this is A. There's two pieces here. There's a wide cable and a short cable. So this wide cable they're calling A. Let me just bring this up here. So they're calling this A and this B. So apparently we're going to have to do something with A and with B. A and B. Okay? Apparently. So let's read on. So it says to hook up, disconnect the stock connector from A. On the ALU board, connect the stock connector to A2. So we need this guy. So this guy, we have two pieces. So which is which? See, we have two pieces here. And It's going to be based on size because these two are two different sizes. And based on the book, they have a bigger size and a smaller size. So I'm assuming this, and it also has a black and a white, a black and a red cable, which this one has. This one has a different color, black and purple. All right. So the size is matching up, the colors is matching up, and so they're saying we need to disconnect that cable from the board and plug it into A2, which is the side that doesn't have the black and red cable. All right. So I don't have a really good way to hold this down, or do I? I need a box. I'll be back. Well, you can remember most of the things I said, but this is not working well for my scenario. I'm gonna have to put it here because I want to play Battle Zone, and Battle Zone ignores the fire button on the player 2 side, so I'm going to swap this. All right, so as you can see, you can put this on either side. The cables are long enough to reach. So I got my black and purple and my red and black cables coming from that side, so you can put it on any side that you want. So now I have this back in, almost back in. Alright, so now player 2 is restored, and now I have the Tron stick in player 1. Okay, so some cleanup work here. So the diagram on the instructions simply say to hook these connectors to this board according to this setup. So if you turn this drawing this way and you compare that, that's why I put the one cable here and I put the one cable here. But this is in fact player 2's keyboard, and this here is player 1. So when I hook it up according to these instructions using these A and B here, this A is fine, even though the A should be the one on this side, but it doesn't really matter, so we'll stick with this. But because that's just giving the power, the red and the black wire, that's just giving power so that the LED light comes on the Tron stick. But you can do this if you want to put the Tron stick on the player 2, but if you're putting it on player 1 like I am, then it needs to plug into this. Therefore it would need to plug into this board, not this A or this B. B would be over here if you're going with player 1. And I wasn't aware of this little test program that's on here, but if I press this button, you see B is flipping on player 1, where before, when I had it plugged into the wrong one, when I would click the B button or the trigger, it was flashing this B. So again, you can hook this ribbon cable up here, the connector cable here. You can plug it in here. It's a little tighter over here, so you don't have to put it over here. Put it over there. But if you want the Tron stick to be in player 1, you have to plug this connector cable here instead of here. This is only used if you're going to put it in player 2. Now you see it's a little tighter over here because that joystick is there, but that's required in order for you to use the Tron stick in player 1. And while I have this off, switching that to player 1, take the opportunity to, it's more screws, so I'm gonna flip this around while I have the opportunity. It's 3 screws. 1 I took out, 2 on the bottom here. So here is the final setup. You can see that the majority of the LED light illuminates from the base. It doesn't really extend up throughout the whole cavity of the Tron arcade fight stick. So it looks nice, but it would be better if this light extended all the way through. And so now I also flipped that panel, so now those names of the games are gone. Looks much better. And so now the B button handles shooting. I didn't make it. Okay, so I am not the best Tron player, but I now have a stick that can assist. So I'm going to use the trigger button and the spinner. Come on. That was not too good. I could have moved down. Use your brain and your stick. Let's try that again. Yeah, I could use this one over here, I think. I doubt it. Nope. So I got all of them that time. So that way you can just move your stick and your spinner. You ain't got to worry about that did count as an out. But it's definitely much easier to play. Oh, these spiders are like baby's kids. They don't die, they multiply. Last one. That's Tron with the Glenn's Retro Show. How can I say that? Glenn's Retro Show. Tron stick. The GRS Tron stick. So it's not a whole lot of areas. I mean, this is just a joystick, right? And so pros and cons. It works as it should work. It does what it's supposed to do. The only areas where I can see where it can be improved upon is the instructions. The instructions have to be clear as to what cables to pull out and plug in, depending on whether you're using player 1 controls or player 2 controls. And the LED lights. They're a ring around this base, and so the top half isn't really illuminated. So I would rather see this row of LEDs come up the spine, you know, on the inside of this thing here, along the inner spine on the front part, so that it glows this whole stick versus just the base. So as you see, as I go back, it's very bright at the bottom and not bright at all. And when you're holding it, all of the brightness is gone, right? So those are areas where I can see it improved. Otherwise, it works and does what it's designed to do. It improves the playability of many games that require you to be able to interact without taking your hand off of the joystick. So I think I'm adding and removing games into the favorites by clicking on that button there. But it does what it does what it's supposed to do. I like it. Thumbs up for the Glenn Retro Show Tron stick. The Tron Arcade Fight Stick. One of my favorite games is Battlezone from way back in the day, and this is where the Tron stick comes in really handy, because you have to use two joysticks, and without this Tron stick you always have to take your hand off the controls to be able to fire. And so now I gotta go down. I have the ability to fire it, and that's gonna miss. Come here, you those. Oh, he backed up on me. Oh, he's playing around with me. Oh my God. I deserve to die, but I won't. Not with that. Not this time. So you're using both the joysticks to maneuver, and you're using the trigger on the Tron stick to fire. Oh, got me. Woo, I just missed that. Ah. Damn it. Dag nabbit. We got each other. Okay, so just a quick look. Using the dual sticks, I have the camera down, but the control, you're using the dual sticks, but you can fire. Otherwise, you have to take your hand off to fire the B button, which is very awkward. So this Tron stick makes these type of games much easier to play, much more enjoyable to play. And so this, trigger is tied to the B button. So even if you're playing, let's say, you know, a Street Fighter or a game like that, so that people would say, well, what about you can't just easily. I took out all of my favorites. Let me put that back in the favorites. All right, so let's go down to Street Fighter. See if I can get one of these things to start. All of these Street Fighters don't work. Okay, there we go. Get some credits in, come on. Can I? Okay. Because if you think of it like a bat top, if you think of it as a bat top, you're using the lower part of the stick anyway. Oh, okay. Hawk's trying to get in at it. Okay. Gonna fall up off me, fool. This ain't PG-13. Oh, okay, okay, got me dizzy, Better come get some, better get some. Next blow, next blow, next blow. Okay, so no problem using this stick, so you don't have to take it off. And even though it comes with the extra piece, it's not real convenient to take off. You would have to take this whole control panel off and pull this one out and put the other one in. So that would only be if you want to take it off for an extended amount of time. Otherwise, fall up off me, Ken. Better fall up off me, Ken. It's time to go. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you taking time to watch me beat on Ken's head. Like the video, subscribe if you hadn't, and until next time, I'll see you on the web. Let's let Ken get some revenge.